Hey everybody, it's Mike Young, lifestyle nutritionist with chapter 81 of Live to 150. And this one's on cleaning. I'm looking at my phone because I got some notes here. I want to make sure I cover everything. I did talk earlier in the book, and I will continue to talk about how chemicals are bad for humans. Chemicals are like labor-saving devices for humans and for other different types of work, but they, in terms of human health, are very bad in general. If you know any exceptions to this, by all means, let me know below. But for cleaning especially, okay? I just had an experience that's reminding me about cleaning. And it made me reflect on my life in the past. So let me just get this list out of the way, and I want to talk about a few stories I can tell you from my own personal experience. The idea is when you clean your house, you don't want to use actual chemicals. Use other things in place of toxic, powerful, chemicals that are cause respiratory issues, eye burning, skin burning, chemical burns, that kind of thing. This includes any kind of home improvement projects you might do, like certain types of caulk. They have these different chemical properties in them. I know that they make the caulk better, but they're off-gassing, especially right when you put them on. I've had experiences where I was installing caulk and my eyes burn and other stuff, and it hurt for hours, if not most of the day afterwards. Any kind of toxic things, and this includes washing your car too. So let me get into what I want to talk about. Put that down. I'd say I remember I'm 52 years young now, and I remember getting my first car when I was 16, believe it or not. I got a new car, and actually, if you ever watch our personal finance videos on digitalnomad.net, I talk about you should never buy a new car. One of the things you do when you have a newer car, or one that's in really good shape, or that's expensive anyway in some regard, is you want to take care of it, you want it to look good. That always involves cleaning it. And the chemicals that they use on these cars are so powerful. Like even if it's just the soap bucket, the soap going in the bucket there, you put your hands in with sponges, even that stuff has chemicals in it. And of course, anything gets in your hands, leaches in your body. So the problem with the cleaning stuff, cars require special, powerful chemicals. They're on the road. They got road tar coming up. You got bugs splattering into them. You got really hot conditions where they bake these things on your car, and then cold conditions where it's frozen. And of course, you could be cleaning and rinsing your car and scrubbing in a variety of conditions. So these chemicals have to be working in all conditions, which means they're very, very powerful. And of course, they want to do it for as little money as possible, so that you don't spend that much money on the chemicals. And your health is what gets hurt by that, because it's really indirect exposure in most cases that you're getting, although it is direct when you're sticking your hand into the bucket. I guess it's direct when you're cleaning things in your house. So I used to clean my truck like once a week. And I can remember back when I was 16, 17 years old, that, when by the time I finished, that process took hours every weekend of washing, scrubbing, putting the plastic protectant or Armor All, whatever you call it, on these surfaces, cleaning the glass with the spray Windex type stuff. I mean, there were so many chemicals flying everywhere. Even the ammonia, they call it ammonia, I guess, in that glass cleaner. I was a mess. I felt like shit. I mean, I felt like total crap after that was done, and I had to recover, not just because it took that much effort. Actually, it does take effort, but I wasn't like out of breath from the effort. I was just feeling so terrible, from the cleaning process. And I can only imagine what the runoff from those chemicals does to the environment. I mean, nobody talks about car washing and how that's a problem for the environment. Although it would be best for the environment. I think some jurisdictions recognize that it's best if you actually wash your car and do all those processes. Oh, this doesn't even include waxing. Waxing was a whole other level of chemical pain, burning of the eyes and getting on the skin. Man, I'm telling you. But the finished product was awesome. Okay, I mean, the car looked great. Everyone was always like, Mike, yeah, your car is so clean, this, that, and the other thing. And then I was always thinking, yeah, but I know it looks good. And I never said anything to anybody, but I feel like shit after I've done this. It's not like I'm tired, like I said. It's not like the tiredness of the work. It's the chemicals and what it does to your body. I know phthalates is a big thing, right? I don't know what's in all these things. Different solvents get airborne, and they're eye irritants. They just get everything. And they get deep in your lungs. I mean, it's a mess. I mean, I wish there was some kind of a foolproof way of doing all this stuff. Sorry, my phone is actually ringing there. Um, but there isn't. I don't know of any way where I can do that myself and not suffer the health consequences. I know it's kind of ridiculous. I don't think you've ever heard anyone talk about this, cleaning their car. This whole chapter is on cleaning. But then what does it do to the environment? If it's that bad on me as a human, what about all the bugs and bacteria that's in the soil? Because like I said, the best place to clean it is on the grass, right? Well, that's because they don't want it to run off directly into the storm drains in the street and get into the creeks and ultimately rivers and oceans, lakes, things like that. But you can, if you bring it back, if you run through that thought process, you realize there's not really any good way to do this cleaning your car. So I have, I drive a Tesla. I paid $107,000 for that car when it was brand new. By far the most expensive car I ever owned. It'll probably be the cheapest when I'm done with it. And that's a whole other topic. You can go to aDigitalNomad.net and learn about all that over there. But I don't ever clean it. I have never cleaned that car by hand. Actually, I also own a Toyota truck. That was 2017 Tesla, 2016 Toyota Tacoma. I have never washed that car. No one's ever washed that car. And although I do clean the rims occasionally by hand because they get brake dust on them. And actually, if you don't do that, I just use a car wash soap. Just very quickly on those, it's the least I can do because they get destroyed. They start to turn gray and black, and the stuff doesn't come off after a while. So I do that minimal amount of cleaning. Occasionally clean the windshield because it's gone for a while without raining, and then even if you try to clean it with the windshield wipers, it doesn't clean it. So you got to get in there with the special dedicated cleaner for windshields. I usually have that Rain-X chemical stuff, which I know is also not good. But again, I minimize my exposure. I just don't spend any more time than that. If I was to do the whole car and do it thoroughly like this, I'm sure the car would look great. And now my wife is always like, why is your car such a mess? I'm like, this is what it gets back down to. I remember how it was. I've been there. I've done that. I've had the super clean car and I have suffered. My health has suffered during those time frames. And like I said, even if I contract it out to somebody else, I cannot in good conscience do that because I know I'm just paying somebody else to do the same thing. Vote with your dollar, right? Another experience I had was very recently, just a couple of days ago. Well, when you clean your house, I would think that most of the things you can replace with non-toxic equivalents. Like I had a chapter here, of course, you guys know in the book, if you read it, about deodorants, antiperspirants, things like that, things for your hair, all these other things. Chemical warfare on women is another chapter. All those things you can find replacements for. But what about cleaning stuff in your house? I think most of the stuff you can, although I don't clean the house. I know my wife kind of bothers her, but just the act of cleaning bothers me. Even some of this other stuff that we use is very toxic to me. I can't get it near me. The further I am away from that process, the better. Are you similar? Let me know in the comments if you are. Okay, please let me know. This is also what was my inspiration for getting rid of my chemical deodorants and moisturizing body washes and things like that. And that was in the previous channel, that previous chapter that has those things talked about. So watch that if you want to. But the big problem is the shower, right? Because after a while in a shower, this is the most difficult area of the house to clean, you get mold. It's a constant moisture area. So I know back in the day, I can remember I used to get that clean shower stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm not promoting them because actually I don't think it's a good idea. You're spraying lighter chemicals because it's not like what you really need to clean it out on a regular basis, hoping to keep that moisture and mold. Ultimately, it's mold. It's like a black mold that grows in the shower. A living organism is what it is. It's not an animal. It's not to be protected necessarily. You don't really want it. Actually, it will destroy your house, actually, if it festers and gets in there and gets behind in the walls, which is easy enough to do if you don't clean it. It just grows and grows and grows. So the clean shower is something that stops them from getting out of hand, but it's a toxic chemical. I mean, does anybody know of any non-toxic ways of handling that? Let me know, please. But what I experienced recently was me going in to the neglected shower, which happens over time, even if you're using the clean shower stuff. And in order to get rid of it, you've got to use bleach and a scrub brush and a lot of elbow grease with straight up bleach, which is so toxic, okay? But it's the only thing that's gonna work to kill this stuff that I know of. And if you know of something else, let me know in the comments. But I'm just telling you, I have not had any luck for decades. So I go in there, usually what I'll do is I'll go in mostly naked, and I will get a couple coats of this bleach poured on there or dipped in with the brush, scrub a hard bristle brush, something with some not too much flexibility, so it really digs in and gets all the bleach molecules into that mold and kills it all off, is what you want, because it's a mess. It can be a health hazard after a while too, for your own health, but also is cleaning it. It's just such a mess. I wish it's such a conundrum. I wish there was a solution or a fix for this, a real fix. I really do. And if you have one, please let me know in the comments. We can have this discussion in the comments, because this is a real issue. The other solution or fix is just to have somebody else do it all the time, which really is what I've done, I guess. Outsource it, kind of, just as long as it's not me doing it. But always in the past, if I look back over the decades, because I'm 52, it's been every once in a while, it's gotten so bad, like I have to go in there mostly naked, scrape it all down, scrub it all down, scrub it down with that scrub brush and bleach, straight up bleach and scrub brush, and then get in the shower and throw all the scrub brush, any of the bottles that were used, etc. Get all my clothes off, get in the shower, and have those all get a shower too, so that all the bleach is rubbed off, washed off of those things. But still, it's in the air, it's burning my eyes. And what reminded me the most recent time is that I need to wear goggles when I am doing bleach cleaning, because if I don't wear goggles, then what's happening is my eyes are burning. They're absolutely burning, and I really need a respirator. I need like one of these very low, small particulate respirators, as well as the goggles. And I need a lot of fresh air, which if you have a bathroom with no windows, like I was just cleaning, it's next to impossible to do that. So it's a mess. I'm gonna say, I know from my reaction to this was very bad a few days ago. My eyes are burning for hours. I was sneezing like crazy, because I'm gonna have a chapter on this about sneezing. When your body wants to sneeze, you need to let it sneeze. You need to let it out full power. It's trying to do something. It's trying to get, there's something trapped deep in your lungs, and it wants to pull it all out and get rid of it. So you need to not hold back on your sneezes. I know people say it's not polite, but especially when you're breathing in these chemicals from cleaners, if you notice, just kind of be mindful. Do I start to sneeze a lot after this process? Because if you do, you're probably using something you shouldn't use, and that you may need to look into finding an alternative or a replacement for, or I don't know, just figuring something out altogether. I still think that this whole cleaning paradigm, we don't have a fix for it yet, and people are cleaning stuff way too often with way too harsh of a chemicals. And like I said, I'm concerned about the direct impact on your personal health, and especially if you're indoors doing this. Like I said, this air, like this bleach air, is just circulating through the house. And yeah, it smells clean, I guess, but take it a step further. What does this mean to you when you're swimming in the pool or the hot tub or something like that, that has similar life-killing, microorganism-killing, mold-killing chemicals in it? These environments are not good for humans. And we're talking about here living to 150. So I guess a lot of stuff is fun, but what does it do? I mean, I am very concerned. I wish I had an answer for you, and I wish people talked about this kind of stuff more. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this stuff, and need to, because we need to figure out a way to exist, and a way to operate where we are not harming people or paying others to do that. So that's kind of my talk. That's my lecture on cleaning chemicals, both for like your car, anything, like your boat. I mean, what do you clean boats with? Boats get mold all over them too, right? What kind of chemicals are used in that? Cleaning buildings outside, I've seen there's some green chemicals, but they actually work. But buildings generally, I say if you're getting mold or something, it's more like a green mold. Much easier to clean up. It's just black mold stuff that is really hard. Your showers and things. What do you use? If you have a procedure for this, so that you don't ever have to go in and just basically blast it with bleach, like I have to do on a every now and then, every couple months basis, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear anything that is beneficial in this area, because these chemicals are killers. They're just killers. So if you got any value out of this, please like the video, and of course subscribe and hit that bell for notifications, and I will see you in the next chapter. Bye-bye.